Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Elle.K here for another video. It's been a very long time since I've last said that. It's been about 2 months. It's crazy. Somehow there's 1,700 of you here, so hi. Thanks for joining the fam. I swear I don't like to make a habit of taking these long hiatuses, but guys, this year has been wild. This year has been so crazy in a lot of good ways, a lot of not so good ways, but yeah. Hi, welcome. Oh, my bunny is out and he's living his best life. So if you hear a little jumping around, it's the rabbit. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna figure out how to do this. So if you would like to figure out where I was, and also take a look at my mid-year book freakout tag, keep on watching. Okay, so, holy moly, it's crazy. I'm gonna give you guys a very brief update on where I've been. If you are not interested in hearing that, no worries. You can fast forward to this time right here, and that'll take you to my mid-year freakout tag thingy. So that's totally fine. It's been 2 months. It's been a minute. A lot has happened this year. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that I no longer work at the bookstore that I was working at last year. Butterscotch, don't touch the wires. Rabbits. I actually now work from home. I am a online tutor with an amazing company and I love it so much. I tutor English, history, philosophy, law, and like humanities subjects as well. It's a lot of fun. And I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I do. And it's great being able to work from home with all my animals. So I'm thoroughly loving that. The downside to that is figuring out a work from home schedule that properly separates like my work time from like my free time from my writing time. Stuff like that has been a little bit tricky, but I think I finally got it somewhat underway, or what I would like to see it be at least. So I've been working out on that. Just raging mental health stuff and like struggling with body image right now because I am heavier than I normally am. So just trying to kind of deal with that and, you know, wrap my head around that. I've also kind of come to terms with as well. You are making so much noise in the background. What else has there been? Oh my gosh, one of my dogs, Sarabi, if you guys remember from, I think 2 years back, I did a like meet my dog video, or like my books that are similar to my dogs or something like that. You guys met my Great Dane Sarabi. She has a liver problem. Finally figured that out. To make a long story short, I also now have her direct litter mate brother here with me as well. And there's just a really big size, like weight difference between the two of them. And obviously I know he's a male, so he will obviously just be heavier than her. But it was significant, and they eat the exact same food and the exact same amount of food. And he put on weight way faster than she did. And I haven't even had him for a full year yet. And I've had Strawberry for 2 years. You can still see like her ribs and even a little bit of her spine, and she's just so skinny. We've tried different foods, we've tried raw, we've tried everything. Took her to the vet, got blood work done on her. She has a liver problem, a liver deficiency, so she doesn't absorb nutrients. That's the way the vet explained it to me. She doesn't absorb nutrients from food very well, so she's on a liver supplement that should hopefully help with that, but she's never going to be super thick like her brother. So just kind of going through like all the blood work and the supplements and like figuring that out for her as well. And she also has joint problems too. I did adopt her, so I was aware that she was going to come with some problems, and that was fine. I don't care. She's my baby and I love her. So she also has some joint problems, so we were kind of figuring out joint medication for her as well. So she has taken up a lot of my time. Then obviously, like I said, I have her brother Preacher, getting him kind of acclimated to everything. I got him last winter in November, so moving into warmer weather with him, getting to spend more time outside with him and stuff like that, and he just fits beautifully and I love him very much. So animal stuff aside, had to deal with that. I finally got to go to my paralegal graduation. I graduated from my paralegal program last year, but because of COVID, we didn't have a graduation. So finally got to have my graduation this year. That was so much fun. Really happy that I got to do that. yeah, stuff has just been wild. Life has been getting in the way, and then also contending with the fact that I don't think that YouTube is going to be a full-time or even part-time job like how I wanted it to be. It's just, it takes a long time to grow and get monetized on this platform for various reasons. So just kind of being able to now put that into my schedule in a way where it's not the center of my attention, because I have to make money other ways, obviously. I've been trying to kind of figure out that as well. And I've been in like this massive writing slump with my book that I'm currently writing. And I was just feeling like really uncreative and unproductive and just creative. Like, I feel like I just lost all creativity the last couple months. So like creating anything was just horrible. So, but all of that to say, I feel good. I feel like I'm ready to take this on again. And I missed you guys. And it's been an interesting reading year for me as well. Like, it hasn't been super spectacular. Like, mind you, I haven't read that many books. I think I've read like maybe 13 this year. I have a lot to catch up on if I'm gonna meet my end of year Goodreads goal of 50 books. So I really need to hustle my butt, because we're already halfway through the year. Can't even wrap my head around that. It's June. It's all the end of June pretty much. So that's crazy to me. I have to wrap my head around that. But yeah, I've only read 13 books this year. A couple of them have been like groundbreaking, amazing, but then the other ones were just subpar. So that has also not been helpful to my wanting to read and produce content for you guys. But we're here. We're gonna do it. Long-winded spiel done. Let's jump into this mid-year book freakout tag. Okay, so I don't know where any of these books are. My room is a mess, my bookshelf is a mess, and I'm just gonna post pictures of them next to my head because that's gonna be easier for me. Oh, I have internet now, guys. I have lived in this house in the middle of nowhere for damn near a decade almost. No, a little less than a decade. And I've never had internet up until last month. And I didn't know what I was missing. Having internet is beautiful. I've binge watched so many things on Netflix and on Disney Plus, and I love it. It's fantastic. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, let's do this tag. So the first one is the best book that you've read so far. I need to go into my Goodreads because I don't remember all the books that I've read. So the best book that I've read so far this year would have to be The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lee Barnes. If you haven't read The Inheritance Game, I don't know what you're doing. And I say that with all the grace I can muster up because it took me forever to read The Inheritance Game, but I'm so glad that I did. That is how you do a YA mystery. Like, the amount of twists and turns, the amount of planning that had to go into that book is beyond me, into that series, period, because I know the third one is coming out in August and I'm so pumped for that. The amount of planning that went into that book is absolutely outstanding. Jennifer Barnes did an amazing job. If you don't know, so The Inheritance Game is about this girl who is literally going back and forth from living with her sister to living in her car. Like, she is that poor. She is, I believe, a senior in high school, and all of a sudden I believe she's writing like a physics test or something. She's about to write a physics test or something. Gets called into the office. Her name is in this rich old guy's will who just died, and she inherits everything. Literally everything. It's this very affluent family in the South. She's got to fly over there, and there's all these, but there's like 2 stipulations that she has to follow in order for her to like claim the inheritance. So, and not a spoiler, one of them is that she has to live at the estate. So with the dead guy's family. So now you can imagine if your father or grandfather or whatever is this rich old man and he doesn't leave you anything, he leaves it all to a complete stranger, you're going to be hella pissed. So it was so phenomenally done. That's definitely the best book I've read so far this year for sure. And then the next one, the best sequel you've read so far, Hawthorne Legacy. That's the sequel to Inheritance Game. Chef's kiss, beautiful. Like, no loose ends. And then the third one comes out in August, and I'm pumped. I was so upset. I should have waited until August and I listened to these via audiobook. Audiobook's been saving my life this year. Audiobooks. I should have waited until August to just binge listen to all 3 of them, because I literally listened to 1 and 2 back to back, and it was amazing, and I would have loved to have done that with the third one, but it's okay. The third one comes out pretty close to my birthday, which is a pretty dope present, I think. So that is, Hawthorne Legacy has definitely been the best sequel that I've read so far. New release you haven't read yet but want to. So new release, I'm gonna say new-ish for me, and that's gonna be The Good is Dead. So I don't know if you guys remember, I did a review for A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, not last year, the year before, maybe 3 years ago. I can't remember. But I did a review for that book. I finally read the sequel to that, and the third one is out. I believe it came out late last year. So Good is Dead is the book that I want to read, and I actually have it on Audible, so I'm going to probably start listening to it after I finish my current listen. So that one. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The Final Gambit. That's the one. So yeah, my most anticipated release for the second half of the year is the Final Gambit. That is the third book in the Hawthorne Legacy, or the Inheritance Game trilogy thing. Yeah, that's one that I'm most excited for. I just want to see, I want to know why. I want to know why. If you've read the Hawthorne Legacy and you know how it ends, man, you know that that story's got to continue, and I'm very excited. Very, very excited for that one. Biggest disappointment of the year. Ouch. That's hard because I don't, do I have a biggest disappointment? Like I said, only a few of them have been amazing. So like to say my biggest disappointment would probably be, yeah, I don't really have a huge disappointment. I've read a bunch of books that haven't been amazing, but I also didn't expect them to be like drop dead amazing either. So I don't really have a biggest disappointment, I guess, which I guess isn't horrible. Biggest surprise? Look, Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I'm shook. So A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I liked. I really did like it. It's okay, so if you don't know, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is you're following our main character, Pip, who is investigating a murder that happened within her really, really small town, like 4 years prior. So she's just investigating it and going through the case, and she realizes that there's a lot of discrepancies and a lot of things that the police looked over and didn't handle, and she finds out the truth behind what actually happened. I liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. There were some plot holes for me that I was like, I guess if you have that suspension of disbelief, fine. I will accept it. You didn't have to have a lot of suspension of disbelief, but you did need to have some. So I was like, fine, I accept it. Good Girl, Bad Blood, that was good. That was really, really good. It's in more of like a podcast format. I really liked it. I love that there are some parts of it where it was a little bit corny. There are some parts where, like, not to spoil anything, where Pip is just like, she's overselling her lack of self-awareness, and I'm just like there's, okay, to be specific, there's one part where she's like, maybe I am a liar. I'm like, girl, everybody lies. Everybody lies. You're not special because you've now realized that you too lie. Like, I don't know, there were some parts that were super corny, but the story overall and the mystery overall, I was like, that's pretty sick. Like, Miss Jackson did something there. I was impressed. I was very, very impressed. Favorite new author would actually be Karen M. McManus. So she's the author of The Cousins and One of Us is Lying. I recently listened to The Cousins and I really liked it. I didn't know if I was going to like her mysteries. The Cousins is the only one that I've listened to so far. I'm currently listening to One of Us is Lying. I liked The Cousins. It was a little bit more on like the softer end of the spectrum for mysteries for me, but I thought it was well done. I thought it was well done, and the characters were interesting enough that I was intrigued and wanted to keep going. So I was like, okay, yeah, she's a cool author. I'm excited to kind of keep going with her catalog. And I know One of Us is Lying also has either a show or a movie. So after I finish listening to it, I am going to go and watch the movie. For One of Us is Lying, though, I think it's going to be very different from The Cousins because first chapter and someone's dead. So cool. I was like, that's great. Favorite new fictional crush. He's not, well, I mean, technically he is fictional, but Hades. I'm going to do a separate video on the A Touch of Darkness series because, sweetie, when I tell you that was not what I was expecting, the butterscotch, no, not the wires. Not what I was expecting in the slightest. I mean, like, whoosh, over my head, like, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it, but yes, my new favorite fictional crush would be Hades, specifically A Touch of Malice, Hades, if you've read the books. You know what I mean? My new favorite character? New favorite character? Oh, Maverick. Not a new character, but yeah, Maverick from Concrete Rose. Not a new character. We all know him from The Hate You Give, Angie Thomas. But yeah, I got to read his backstory in Concrete Rose, and I really, really like him as a character. It made me understand him more as a father too. So yeah, I thought that was really, really well done for her. If you don't know, Concrete Rose is literally Maverick's backstory. It's the prequel to The Hate You Give, like a way, way, way prequel to it. And it was really well done. It was one of those contemporaries where there's not one huge overreaching problem. You're just kind of following this character through a specific point in his life, and there's lots of other little small conflicts. And I really, really like contemporaries like that. I have to be in the mood for it because they can get boring. But when I am in the mood for it, they're beautiful. And this was no exception. It made you cry. I don't have a book that made me cry this year. There's been no book that has given me like such a strong emotion, which sucks because I look for that in books. I seek that. A lot of times when people will say, oh, you know, like, what do you remember most from the book? Somebody will point out like a character or a conflict. I pinpoint feelings. And I haven't had that yet from a book. So for a book that's made you cry or a book that's made you happy, I don't really have that for either one of them. I just haven't gotten that like strong sense of emotion from any book yet so far. Which is fine because the jury is still out. I'm holding out for that book that either makes me feel, you know, incredibly happy or even incredibly angry. I'm fine with that, or incredibly sad. Just like some sort of forceful emotion that I can convey to you guys would be great. I think last year for me it was The Starless Sea. That just was a lot of confusion and a lot of strong emotions, and I now actually really like that book. So, and I want to reread it this year, but yeah, I haven't found that book yet for this year. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I will get back into the swing of this and remember how to film coherently and make coherent videos for you guys because, you know, it's been a minute. Let me know in the comments down below what videos you would like to see. I am going to do a sit down video and just kind of go over kind of what you're going to expect from my channel, upload schedule, stuff like that. But I wanted to get this one out there. It's just like a fun, hey, I'm back. Look forward to seeing me and I look forward to hearing from you guys type of video. Make sure you're following me on Instagram if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.